Okay, so now that we've actually looked at some technical analysis, let's actually go into some trade setups. Okay, so the main sort of trade setup that I teach is called a break and retest. All right, so let's say you have sort of levels like this. So this is a support level. Okay, and let's say that price is coming to a support level. All right, so there's sort of two things that can happen. The first thing that can happen is that price can break through it and close down. Okay. Now, in order for a price to break through a support level, it sort of needs two things. Okay, so first thing, it needs to consolidate at that level. So if price comes all the way down and people are trying to sell it, you can't really sell it anywhere around here because your stop loss needs to go above the next lower high. And where's that next lower high? Well, if it's like this, right, it will be up here and the level's down here. So you can't really sell it. So what needs to happen is price needs to go like this. It needs to sort of consolidate, okay, and create a level where price is able to break out from. And then we have that little consolidation and people can take sales down. So if you see price consolidating like this, then you can expect that price is going to push past this level, okay? And the second thing is it needs to close past the level. So the candle needs to close past the level. And what I mean by close is that the candle has completely closed. So it's not moving, it's not forming, it's formed past the level. Okay, so that's two things. It needs to consolidate at a level and it needs to close past the level. Okay, now that's a breakout trade. A retest trade, so a trade where it retests, is where it simply comes down and comes back up. Okay, doesn't really do much, doesn't really wait around, it just goes up and down. Okay, now the trade setup that I teach everyone, and it's the most easiest way to trade, the most strongest setup, okay, is a break and retest. So it's a break of structure and a retest. And what this retest is this lower high being formed. Okay, like that. The lower high being formed, okay? Now there's sort of two things that needs to happen, or three things that happen when a break and retest happens. First thing first, it needs to break through a 4-hour key level. So I say 4 hour because it needs to break through a powerful key level. It can't just be like an intermediate one, it needs to be a really strong, powerful key level, okay? Once it breaks through, it needs to give it some room. So it can't just, go like that. That's not really a break and retest. It needs to give it some room to actually smash it, okay? Once that 4-hour level has been broken and a bit of room has been given, it needs to come back to the level for the first time. That first time is going to be a really good, powerful setup to continue down. The first time a resistance level gets acted like support, it's very powerful, okay? This right here is a break and retest trade where price has broken through a 4-hour key level and has come back to retest it for the first time. Everything we do moving forward, in your entries, in our area of value in the next videos, and in all our videos, in everything that happens, we're always looking for this break and retest setup. We're trying to move our chart around this break and retest setup. Okay. Now, what does this really look like on a small time frame? On an actual chart. Okay, so as you can see, price is really from this moment forward, okay, created a triple top, which is a reversal candlestick pattern, which is what we went through before in patterns before. And it sort of created this trend. All right. Now, how do we take advantage of this trend? So how do we trade it? That's the question. How do we actually trade it? So when we actually try to take a trade, what we're looking for is structure, market structure. So as you can see, we have a key support level here, okay? If I drag that across, this is a perfect break and retest setup, okay? So price has actually broken the level for the first time, and this is a 4-hour key level. So it's broken level for the first time. And what we have to do is wait for price to come back and retest it. The second price comes back and retest it, we had that opportunity to take a trade to the downside. This is a break and retest setup. This is honestly what I most of the time trade, a break and retest setup, okay? So let's have a look at another one. Now this is also a very good example because this is nothing perfect. So if you have a look here, we sort of have this, structure where price came up from and then came back down and then it sort of moved around a bit. Now if you look to the left, it's really respecting this zone more. Like that. So as you can see that it's really looking at that zone more. So sometimes you have to sort of take a step back and look, it's a 4-hour key level. What are the main 4-hour key levels? And we're looking at, you know, that sort of multiple touch one there. And then what we have is we have, you know, a double top on this 4 hour time frame, but if you zoom in a bit closer, it would look like a bit of a triple top, okay, on like a lower time frame. But we have a candlestick pattern after a break and retest, you know, following a trend or following a trend line in this, you know, sort of look way at a resistance level. Okay, everything revolves around a break and retest. If you're trying to catch a good trade, you need to catch a break and retest. This can also go the opposite way. You know, if you're trying to buy an uptrend, so you have a good area of value, you wait for price to come to the area of value, and you know, you need to give us some space. So this is not really giving us some space. You need to give us some space to come up and then come back for the first time. This is another double bottom on a moving average to the upside. Okay, now this is another good break and retest trade, so we can find some more. And all we're trying to look for is, you know, an opportunity to take a trade. And how do we find an opportunity to take a trade? Wait for structure to be broken, follow the trend, you know, creating that massive low, and take a trade to the downside. This is everything. So everything we talk about from now on is going to be revolved around this break and retest strategy. And it's basically just one way to take a trade. You can take a breakout trade, you know, where price breaks through for the first time and closes below, and then we can take it down. We can take a retest trade. So this is, what's a good one? This is, you know, sort of a retest trade. Came up, came down after the first touch. Retest trades usually happen in consolidation. So when the trend's consolidating, you know, we have all these little retest trades going on here. But they're not really high probability setups, and neither is a breakout. So, you know, a breakout isn't really high probability setup because usually it's always just like a move down, but then it always comes back up and it really sustains itself. But when it does sustain itself, when it actually does do a good breakout, at the end of the day, you can really see the big move. But this is only like, it looks like a breakout, but if you go to a lower time frame, it's really just a break and retest on a lower time frame because you can't really see that. So let me see if I can show you now what that area looked like. Because on a higher time frame, we just see price really break of structure, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it sort of, you know, broke, came up, and then made its way down. So everything that we do on the entry time frame, on the higher time frames around trading, trying to look at opportunities to make money, we're looking at this break and retest strategy, and that's sort of how that's the fundamentals of it. So I'll teach you more how to use it to your advantage. But what we're looking for in actually making money, so in actually trading the charts and actually looking for opportunities, we're trying to find a break of structure and a retest. That's going to be a high probability setup.